Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in GTA 5, which a lot of you guys have been requesting, and I'm going to be teaching you guys a couple things, a couple of basic things on how to improve your chances of winning in these Hotring races, which are basically big, huge stock car races that take place on massive tracks that, well, some of them are massive and some of them are not quite as massive as the rest of them. Like, for example, the Vespucci track, oh my god, it's huge. This track, not quite as big, so there's definitely a little bit more chance of, you know, people running into you or you running into other people. But regardless, one of the main things, main things is to be patient. You have to be patient. And as long as you're patient, you can get away from that first corner, second corner carnage that a lot of people end up running into. And as long as you can get through that, then you're going to end up being a lot better off in terms of the race as a whole. You got to be patient, again, because these races take place over the course of quite a few laps, and you want to set yourself up well rather than necessarily trying to push people out of the way and get to the front of the pack as quickly as possible, which, by the way, ramming people, that's not gonna work. I mean, genuinely, sometimes, like, people can argue, oh, well, yeah, it does work. Well, maybe sometimes it does, but you're really being an ass by doing it. So it's one of those things that you have to keep in mind. It's like, do you really want to be that guy? Do you really want to be that guy? And if you're, I mean, that's the thing, is I personally would prefer not to be that guy, but if you're okay with going for it, then the thing is, if you try to go for it and you try to hit somebody, there's ways they can defend against it. And if they're good at what they do, and or at least, I mean, hell, if they're even like just a little bit, if they have even the slightest bit of knowledge of what they're doing, they can actually counteract any kind of hit that anybody might try to deliver on them. Now, the main thing is to use the draft as, the main thing is to use the draft to your advantage. And the reason why I say use that draft to your advantage is because if you let somebody pass you, chances are you can pass them back pretty soon after that using that draft. So honestly, and also, if someone tries to come after you and tries to hit you, all you have to do is either let off the gas or brake a little bit, and just give it a little tiny dab of brakes, and they'll just fly right by you, and you'll be able to tuck in behind them, use that draft to slingshot right back around them again, and you just avoided getting hit. So that's one of the main things that I like to use personally to try to keep myself from getting hit or pushed off the track. And it also confuses people because sometimes they try to launch themselves into you so hard that they end up just flying off the edge of the track without even knowing what happened. Also, make sure you're aware of people that will try to basically park sideways and will legitimately try to block you while you're trying to complete your laps. Now, this is actually, from all the races I've played, this is actually seeming like it's a pretty common thing to happen in these in these particular Hotring races. People just, for some reason, there is I guess, a certain, you know, group of players that will just try to either drive backwards, or that I expected there were going to be players driving backwards, but the other one is that there are players that will literally just park sideways and will try to just block the road, and they'll kind of, you know, reverse or drive forward to try to make this like moving roadblock, essentially, just to try to screw up your race. And just you got to give yourself some breathing room for that around any kind of a blind corner or a blind jump if you know that there's somebody in front of you, or really, even if you don't know if there's somebody in front of you, the person could have turned back and gone backwards to try to set themselves up to where they could end up in front of you and just park there and screw your race up, because that also does happen fairly often. And again, going back to the whole thing with like the draft, and also kind of allowing yourself to weave in and out of different situations. If someone is trying to come up and trying to hit you, all you have to do is back off a little bit, let them blow by, and all you'll have to do is work your way back up to where they are, use that draft, and you'll be fine. You'll be good to go. Even if you haven't been playing the game for a very long time, you can apply all of this stuff and start finishing highly in races pretty quickly. I mean, especially in these new races, and, you know, in the Hotring game type and stuff like that. basically, all you have to do is you have to be willing to think. You have to be willing to think, and you have to be willing to be patient. Because as long as you're willing to think and be patient, you can just let someone pass you and know that you're going to get, as long as you drive cleanly, you're going to be able to catch back up to them fairly quickly, and you're going to be able to use that draft to slingshot yourself past them. So it's all this game of trying to figure out where you are in the scape of the race as a whole. And if you've got the extra space and you've got the extra time, you can give them that place, let them think that they're winning, and then let them put their guard down. Just come right up behind them, and you can go ahead and slingshot past them with the draft, and you'll be good to go. Especially if it's like the last lap. Dude, all you got to do is tuck in behind them, and bam, you're right around them again. So those are the main things. The main things are pay attention to the draft, and if someone's drafting off of you, that's the other thing, is if someone's drafting off of you, you can go ahead and let him pass. There's a couple different things that can happen. You can either start to weave back and forth, which honestly can be a little bit of a pain because it can cause crashes, and I don't recommend doing that. But what you can honestly do to diffuse that draft as quickly as possible is to pull way off to the side, and you can actually just kind of let them around you, and then all you have to do is duck in right behind them. And see, sometimes you will get hit from behind. I mean, it's inevitable. It's GTA racing. It's inevitable. So all I did right here was I let off as I was going to let him pass, and he just ended up spinning out. So sometimes they will spin out, sometimes they won't, and you just kind of have to be aware of what's like I said, again, it's all this about the spatial awareness in game. As long as you're aware of what's going on around you and how you use the draft and staying patient, you can really, really kind of see these races from a little bit of a different mindset and really dive into how they actually work, because all it is a game of slingshotting yourself. That's it. That's all it is. It's a big game of slingshotting yourself. So that is the basics of these Hotring stock car races in GTA Online. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comments down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time. And make sure you come back for more GTA, Spin Tires Mud Runner, American Truck Simulator, Forza, and more. I'll see y'all later. Talk to you guys next time.